Welcome back, everyone. This is Where is Boar. Today we are playing Shapez.io. Now, it's obviously been quite some time since I've played Shapez.io. What's that? Almost half a year. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into a new game. Since yesterday, for me at least, I played Factory Town, and I played sort of the living crud out of Shapez.io, and really wanted to jump back into it here. Alright, work things, I spent all day, well, I say all day, probably the last like 40 minutes, really just sort of waiting for this download that I'm doing for work. And there was no communication. I didn't receive any traffic. I didn't receive any form of messages. I start recording for YouTube real quick, and then my messages are now blowing up. But basically, for Shapez.io, what it is that we have our goal right here. In this case, we need to bring 30 circles into this like storage area. And to do that, we need a extractor and we need path. I put the extractor onto the blocks here, right? Basically, we're mining for these circles, and then they come out of the path. Now, to start things off, things are pretty slow. There is an upgrade, if I can remember what's the hotkey for that. But we also received this new tool here, and what this tool does is that it splits it for us, right? So it comes through, gets chopped in half, and then we get two halves. One is what we're looking for, the other is not. So I'm putting it into the bin, just because we don't need it right now. I'm probably gonna keep this pretty simple to start things off. There's the upgrade. So we are now able to get the belts, the distributor, and the tunnels. Increase the speed. Upgrade it. Yes. What I'm also going to do is that we need more circles. I'm gonna have this one run out and up this way, right? Because we need 75 circles, and then we need 500 bottom halves. Right now, let's see what happens over put them in. Yeah, not quite what I'm looking for. So basically, I need a rotator, and it's gonna come in a couple of levels. Let's get some of these squares here. We'll go ahead and do 2 paths of squares. You guys will probably see that a lot. Well, usually what happens when I'm drawing the path is I sort of just move my mouse inwards, or I move it outwards. So it's just perfectly straight line, and then cock it. Alright, so we finished that goal. We now have the ability to do a balancer. What am I doing? Which is gonna look like this. And what the balancer does is that it basically distributes the shapes, right? So this is the main path. We have it coming out, and if I were to have a load balancer with 2 paths, it would distribute it. I would have one go to the left, one go to the right, or one on the bottom, one on top, right? And so forth. In this case, what I'm doing is that I'm basically merging it all onto this single path. And if we zoom out and go here, it brings us here. So what we can actually do, first, let's go ahead and take care of this. Which side is the side that we're simple. Basically, make it so that the last mile is on a single path, right? Because if I were to open up the upgrades here, there's a lot that we need to do. And that's actually why I'm pulling the stars here. For the cutting, the rotating, the stacking. One thing that is going to be a pain is that the further out we are, the more time it takes for it to go from point A to the hub. Which is why I'm running so many paths here. I'm running 4 paths. Just because I know that there's a travel distance that we need to bridge. So we might as well make that as effective as possible. One thing I could possibly even do is run another square here. Alright, we now have the rotator. So that's actually going to change a little bit of what we're doing here. What I'll actually do is grab this, run it down, and go to the right. Put in this trimmer, which is which. Okay. And also in here we need the bottom. So I'm going to rotate this one. Where does that put me? That's top. Rotate this one. That's the bottom. We can run these up. Run into the load balancer. Do single path. And then run again into the load balancer and have it come through this way. Hopefully this doesn't cause a jam, but we'll see here. I think our speed is just fine. I technically can optimize this a little bit more, and I could probably even have it enter here. But I think for now that should be fine. Until things starts backing up or Quest gets more complex. Alright. So we finish what? So we finished the last task, and then I started working on this here. That's also our next task. For us to do. We also have the ability to do tunnels now, which can save us space. One thing that I'm noticing too, let me actually clear this, that we are backing up here. So one thing I am wondering, does it make sense to then extend this? Put in a load distributor here. Give it some time. Yeah, one of the upgrades I got, the extraction here. I think that's making it so that, so all the extraction, the extracting is easy now. What I think that also unfortunately did is that it's causing this block here to mine faster than what it can keep, than what I'm cutting. Which, I mean, is an issue that I even had on my other save file. Not too much we can do there. unless if I distribute it and run multiple cutters. But for how basic of a shape it is, I don't think it's worth it. I just don't think it's a necessary procedure to do right now. Okay, so we now have the ability to paint. And what I'm actually going to do is what I said I wasn't going to do. I'm going to go put an extractor there. Let's go ahead and use our tunnel. And basically the tunnel is all underground. So now we have this shape coming through. I'm going to need a extractor here. Have this come out, run it parallel. Let's go ahead and run this back this way. I'm gonna have this be its own path. Oh. One thing that I might also consider doing is create another one because... Okay, so... the more processes we have, right, the more complex that we're making things, the more it takes, the more time it takes to do stuff. So if extracting takes, let's say 1 second, we run it through a load distributor, let's say that takes another half second, right? That's already a 1.5 second we're adding to just taking it from point A to point B. I don't think the tunnel has any process time to it, but painting, let's say that takes 3 seconds to do right now. We're now at 4.5 seconds. If we get this complex enough, right, we're cutting it, and if we gotta rotate it, distribute it, you could be adding an extra 12 seconds to the process. And if I want to see how much it's taking me to do something, we are producing 0.3 seconds, or it takes us 0.3 seconds to produce one of these guys, 0.4, or, sorry, we are producing 0.4 of these per second, right? And it's fluctuating. It's about 0.35. Ideally, I would want to get it to 1 a second. Let's go ahead and upgrade these. That will may change some things. But most of the holdup is actually right here. Painting, I think, takes the longest amount of time. Painting and mixing. Those are definitely the time-consuming ones. We also want to do purple. I don't have purple. And I don't have this shape. Here. I can do blue of these, though. Okay, I think we are in a good spot right now. Fortunately, this game is the type of game where I can sort of play in the background while I'm talking to you guys, while I'm working, right? That I might be waiting, in my case right now, I'm waiting for a 10 gigabyte file to download, and it's taking me bloody hours to do that because the company Wi-Fi is really slow. So I can sort of go between emails and whatnot and check in. Things are also progressing sort of slow right now. Like I said, I can increase efficiency of this a little bit. Basically running a second path, maybe even a third one. That would speed it up a little bit. But for where we are, I don't think that's too big of a concern. You guys wouldn't have to watch all of it. I would just cut it out. Like I said, I'm working. Not too big in a rush here. This is a really relaxed game. I do enjoy this. Where I left off, and probably where I just stopped playing the game really last time, was I got to the point where I basically had to take one of these shapes, right? Basically, let's say the star, the square, the circle, and then this weird, and then some other weird shape, right? And I would have to cut them out, paint them, mix them back in, or merge them back in, on top of mixing colors. So it was taking me basically a full factory to do one step of the process, and then run that. And I got to the point where I was able to start doing wiring, right? Like powering to make it quicker and more efficient. And I sort of just got distracted with work. I do travel for work. In fact, before a couple of days ago, I didn't record for a full week. I'm trying to, once again, ramp up production. It's because I've been doing really a lot of all-nighters with work. There's a lot of things I need to do part of my day job. And we have a lot of conventions going on. Or that's popping up, that's been taking a lot of my time and effort, which unfortunately means I really don't have any videos. This week I only have 2. Today's Monday for me, so I'm recording this so I have a video for Friday. I'm hoping to get in another recording today, and at least do 1 video a day for the rest of the week, so that I have another business trip. So yeah. It's a little side conversation there, while I'm waiting for this, because this is taking really bloody ages. Alright, we made it to the next level. I actually ended up deciding to create another path here. Which, I mean, I think we're running into the issue of there not being enough paint that's coming through. Which I don't think it's going to be too big of a hassle. This is already almost at 600, and that will make painting a little bit quicker. We're also almost at another level of extraction. We'll be extracting even faster. So things are looking good there. We're already working on this. In fact, I have 2 lines coming in, so more waiting. Which I am not going to complain about. But overall, I would say that in terms of what we have, very efficient in terms of what how things are laid out. Could definitely use some improvement, but huge part of it is I will be needing just the basic shape, right? Later on. Those are things that's going to be torn down. Alright, we made it to the next level. But with that, I'll show you guys what we're going to deal with. Basically, we're going to need to make, what is that, purple, pink? I think that's supposed to be purple. I have colorblind mode on because I like the colors a bit better, despite not being colorblind myself. But what that's going to look like is, if I can draw a straight line, we're going to need this. Mix them together, and now we have pink/purple. And then it's going to be what we've been doing. Do I have a nearby circle? This one. Which I'm actually going to just borrow this line here. Let's say... to right there. If you pop in, have this come out, and now we're producing the purple circles. But anyways, guys, I think that's a good spot to call it. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button, as well as subscribe if you haven't already. Helps me out, helps out the YouTube algorithm, helps me prioritize what kind of game, what kind of content you guys are looking for. But as always, guys, I hope you guys have or had a wonderful day. Thank you.